This is the Cool Photo Tools Podcast, episode number 69, May 30th, 2016.
Are you sick of trying to learn all the new photo software? Are you tired of hearing about the next big thing in photography? Well, neither are we. Welcome to Cool Photo Tools with Jay Piersdorf and Rhonda Spencer.
Today's sponsor is Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audibletrial.com/coolphototools. Good morning, cool heads. Welcome to another exciting episode of Cool Photo Tools. You can always check our website at coolphototools.com for the most exciting, the most interesting, and the best photography information. And now, here's your host, Jay Piersdorf and Rhonda Spencer. How was that?
That was marvelous. He hasn't even been drinking this morning. That just...
Coffee. I've been drinking coffee.
Yeah, coffee. That was
Ooh,
it.
I'm awake. For a few minutes.
Me too. Did you notice? I haven't yawned in a while.
A couple of minutes.
At least.
We'll see how that goes.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Welcome to
or
another
afternoon, depending on when
episode.
you're listening. But
yeah, pretty darn exciting over here at the Cool Photo Tools studio.
It is.
As we are watching all the moisture evaporate from the desert.
Yeah.
In May. It's kind of warm around here.
It does get warm.
Yeah, makes me thirsty.
But it does get warm.
It does. So let's get started because I know we have a stack of stuff and we never seem to get through it. Where I was like, "Oh, we're out of time again. What? Are you going to be kidding? We haven't. No, yeah."
It's because we talk too much.
Apparently, we do. We should probably start a podcast or something.
You think anybody'd listen?
Get that out of our system.
Maybe somebody'd listen.
No, nobody.
Okay.
It's just we have a leader.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say.
We have a listenership of 2. So
you and I.
Well, that's 2.
All right, that is 2.
Okay.
All
right. So let's look at your screen this morning and get started here.
Okay. You know me, I'm always about lights. I must have my son has a thing about flashlights. I must have a thing about camera lights.
Well, flashlights have gotten really good in the last 15, 20 years. I remember back in the day, you had
to light the candle.
My father was fascinated with flashlights, and you had these carbon zinc batteries, that you'd put in these big D-cell batteries, and you'd put 2 of them, and they'd go in this flashlight, and the flashlight would run for like 4 minutes, and that was it. Dim, and the batteries are not good. It was, and so today you have LEDs that are amazing and they just sip the power. Batteries last for months or years. It's crazy. Yeah. Crazy talk.
Yeah.
So this is an LED that I'm looking at your screen here.
Yes.
This is from Amazon.
It is from Amazon. Polaroid makes it.
Well, it's got a Polaroid name on it.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I don't think Polaroid makes anything
You're right.
anymore.
It does have a Polaroid name.
I miss Polaroid. I liked them back in the day.
But this is called their 350 Ultra High-Powered Super LED Camcorder Video Light with variable color temp.
But what is it?
It's a big LED that's got, for those of you that you can see, it is a large LED that actually can set on the hot shoe of your camera.
But what is it?
What do you mean, what is it? It's light. It's light so that you can shoot and see.
So this is a battery-powered light that sits on the hot shoe of your camera.
Actually can run not just battery, you can actually plug it into if you want to have it plug in.
Uh-huh.
But nicer because it is battery operated also.
So okay.
See?
So these are like $159. So you're not giving these away.
No, they're not.
But from what I can see here, these are variable color temperature.
They are variable color temperature.
So they go from daylight balanced 5600 Kelvin to 3200 Kelvin, which would be tungsten or the screw-in household lamps. and you can adjust what color that you want the light to be as well as how bright it is.
Right.
So how bright is it?
What does it say?
It's hard to know, isn't it?
Yeah, it is hard.
You know, we keep talking about on this show is like when they come up with brightness indicators, they go very bright, or, like, well, what does that translate to? What could I take a picture with? And there doesn't seem to be, there's no kind of industry standard to just say, this has this amount of light and you could take a picture with this.
Well, the nice thing it says here too on this, it says 10% to 100% flicker-free brightness. So if anyone has ever tried to use some of these lights, sometimes when you're doing video, you become very aware all of a sudden you're seeing flicker.
Yeah, but I don't think LEDs, I think they pretty much got that licked. I don't think LEDs flicker anymore. Not to where cameras can, at least I haven't seen one in a while that does that. But the bigger question I was going to mention on this one is how much longer are we going to need variable color lights? The one that can turn from one color to another. Because, we're getting rid of tungsten bulbs, and how long will it be before all household lighting isn't LED? And
true.
LED is more usually closer to color, daylight color than well, I guess you can buy them either way. I don't know. I'm not sure I want to invest in variable color at this point. I don't know. At least not for the stuff.
Comes with 2 batteries and a charger.
Okay.
And it looks like it's pretty well made.
Yeah. I don't know. Are you gonna buy one of these?
I might. I have a real weakness.
Yeah.
About light.
I have one of these that's just daylight balanced, and it's a little bit older, and takes AA batteries. And it was about $30, I think, which I'll put a link in the show notes. But it's pretty cool, and how much light they actually do put out, and for how long they'll put them out. And yeah, I'm thinking video work for this kind of stuff. This is probably not bright enough to do really stills. You could.
Depending on if you're doing a wedding in low light, and you need that portrait, and you've got the bride and groom sitting in a very dark area, might help.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm. If you need video stuff, it's amazing how long the batteries do last, and I guess we don't have all the specifics on this, how they work, but Amazon, 30 days.
That's
don't
true.
Like it, you can go right back.
You can take it right back,
and they'll happily refund it a couple of times, and then they'll ban you from. No, I don't know. I'm sure they have their limits.
Yeah, but I do like that it has the availability to mount on the camera, though.
Yeah, that's pretty handy, but unfortunately, that's also kind of the worst place.
You're right.
With the exception of, well, now let me just say, it's a good place if you have some other light source that's stronger and you just want to fill light into the shadows, then on the hot shoe on the camera, the cold shoe, is a good spot because that's a neutral, doesn't cast shadows, of its own generally, so that you can fill in shadows with that. But as a main light, I would want it a little higher. I think, more simulating the sun, higher in the sky, so to speak. All right. Well, did you see this?
Well, no.
Okay. For those of you listening on iTunes or on Google Play that are just listening to the audio version of this, you're like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about?
Did you see it? No.
Well, we won't keep you in suspenders. What I'm talking about here, this is a website called dofsimulator.net. And DOF stands for depth of field. Now, if you're new to photography, or even if you've been around to photography, depth of field is kind of a hard concept to wrap your head around. It's like, really, what the heck is depth of field and why should I care? So this is an online simulator. So you can play with all those camera settings and see what the results do here. So right at the top here, you can see we've got, you pick your metric or imperial. Let's just say imperial because we do feet and inches over here. Your model, let's say, is a woman here. And this is a cartoon picture of a woman, which, okay, and for our purposes, that's fine. Because the subject is going to be sharp no matter what. You're focusing on the subject. And then you can pick your background, and you can pick your portrait orientation and what kind of lens that you want to shoot with. And it's set to an 85 millimeter to start with. And then you pick your lens opening. Now this, as you move the lens opening, it takes care of everything, but it shows you how the depth of field changes. So that gives you...
This is really good for teaching for people to learn what it does.
And you can also pick your sensor size or your camera model. Here we got a 35 millimeter full frame type camera. And then you can also pick the subject distance, and you can see how that affects the depth of field as well. So there's, it's kind of a complex thing, but you can change all the variables and see how it works. So it's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah. So I think that's at dofsimulator.net. And if you want to play with depth of field and kind of understand it more, this will show you in a very visual way exactly how depth of field works for you. And you want to know depth of field because for a portrait shot, it's really nice if you can have the background go very blurry or out of focus like that. And for a landscape shot, well, you want everything sharp. You want close up to you sharp and far away from you sharp. Okay, Rhonda, back to you.
That's pretty cool.
I showed you something today, huh?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Right. I can't often teach you something, but once in a while I catch you.
Okay, here's one of these I looked and I thought, what? Why? So, Leica.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Leica, their new MD, the joy of anticipation, it says.
Oh, for crying out loud.
They are now making a camera that has no screen on the back.
And
There's
they're
no
trying to
LCD.
spin it like it's a big advantage.
It is, yeah. It's like, look at this. They've got, here you've got the retro camera.
Come on,
so
you
for you
guys.
people who just only want a viewfinder and you never want to chimp your shots, this is it. This is it. It says a step back to the future.
Nice way to spin that.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
So why do you think that they did this? I mean,
They're trying
it says
things,
photography
just-
in the purest form.
They're just trying to run something up the flagpole and see if somebody might salute it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just looked and I went, what? Why?
Yeah, this is silly.
Isn't it?
I don't know what to think about this. They could prove me wrong. They could just, they could make giant sales. In their defense, okay, let me just play devil's advocate for a second.
Okay, it's snazzy looking. I like how it looks.
Well, you got a picture of it from the front?
No, of course, they don't show you one with a lens on the front
wait
of
a
it.
minute. Turn
Oh,
it-
right
yeah,
here.
there.
There you go. So,
Well, it looks like a Leica. It's just,
You
it's kind of that little rounded, boxy looking thing. In their defense,
Yeah.
as an old film shooter, sometimes I just go ahead and switch my camera to manual and shoot manual because I
a
want
picture of it
predictable
in the
results. Okay, Rhonda's got a picture here. I want predictable results. And so
I like
know
the
if I
screw
set,
right here. That's a nice touch.
well, that's so that the lens doesn't fall off. I mean, you got to have some mechanical things. And if you scratch up the top, you could get probably a replacement. But it's, I understand, that sometimes you just want to switch to manual and shoot because it's familiar to you. You know what you're doing. I've done it before. I
Right.
get predictable results. So I'm good with that aspect of it. Now, it seems to me like if you're really bothered by having the results show up, for number one, I turn mine off. Mine doesn't come up with, what do they call it, the auto display. After you take a picture, it immediately shows it to you on the viewfinder. Because I often, with some of my cameras, it prevents it from taking another picture right away. With the Sonys it does. So I turn that off because, look, I'm taking pictures here. And I can push a button if I want to see it, and then it'll come up. So I just turn it off. But in this case, it seems like all they've really done is put some black tape over the whole thing, right?
I know, huh?
I mean, it's like, well, if it was a feature and people wanted to do that, you could get black tape or put a piece of paper over it and you'd have the same thing. So it's not a feature. You've left an important part of a digital camera off, probably as a money saving.
Well, I would think that would be why they were doing it. It would save you a bunch.
And how much does this cost? If you,
I haven't seen. Let me see.
well, it's a Leica, so it ain't going to be cheap.
No, it isn't going to be cheap.
It's not going to be cheap. So, anyway,
Oh, yes, it isn't cheap. It's $5,995.
yeah. So, I'm not into this. This has lost it for me.
I just thought it was funny. Like, wow.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what to say. Maybe somebody will think that's a feature. And
I know there will be people that will buy it just because of the name. And because
Well,
it's retro.
Not that it's not a good camera, like it
No.
has traditionally made good cameras.
That's true.
So that's certainly a possibility. Speaking of good cameras,
Okay.
from our friends at Petapixel, had a nice article on this. The Hasselblad returns to its roots with the powerful all-new H6D system. For its 75th anniversary, Hasselblad is coming out with this new model of camera here. And this is, it looks, it's very Hasselbladish.
Is it like a full format?
It's a large format.
Large format?
Yeah, so a large sensor. I'm not sure what, of course, traditionally Hasselblads have been, used the 120 size film or 2 1/4 square format. So I am
Is this a
suspecting. No, this is all built together here. This is all,
Okay.
and there's some nice pictures of it here. I was just trying to see what, I was thinking it was 50 megapixel. Yeah, I've lost my specs on it here. We'll go right to their website. We'll just launch it over there. Go to Hasselblad.com and take a look. And we're going to look at the all-new H6D. And so here we go. We've got, it's got dual cards. It's got all this. It's got Wi-Fi built in. Shoots 4K video. It's got all those fancy stuff. Here, 100 megapixel.
Wow.
So it has a 50 megapixel CMOS sensor, but it has a 100 megapixel option. Does that mean you can buy another model maybe that has that?
I don't know.
Yeah, so that's a bunch. And so, what do you need that kind of resolution
It's a hard
for?
drive eater, isn't it?
Well, yes, it's going to take up a lot of hard drive space, and then it's going to but it's going to produce very high quality detailed images. So if you need to make huge prints or images that are going to be examined close up, like for map making, for aerial photography, I would think this would be awesome. Also, it's a very expensive camera. I don't know what the price is on these yet. I don't know if they've been announced.
Usually about $45,000 to $60,000.
Yeah, it's going to be up there. So that's going to be one of these scenarios where wedding photographers are going to be, if they use them, that speaks to the high end, the high quality. This photographer is using the best quality, the most expensive camera, which we used to do back in the day, right? When everybody had Canon AE1s and Minolta SRT 101s. We used to shoot weddings with the Hasselblad 500Cs. And did anybody order a picture bigger than 8x10? Almost never.
No.
So the 2 1/4 inch format was really kind of wasted on the whole scenario, but it did separate you from the amateur photographers at that point. So maybe I don't know, is there a market for this?
I don't know. Somewhere.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's outside my wheelhouse. So anyway,
I'd
over
like to
you.
play with one.
Would you? Okay. I'll get one in for you to try.
Okay, thank you.
You might like it though, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I have to have one of these."
That would be bad. Yeah, no. I'm going to start the 12-step program soon, very soon.
Okay.
This is Rhonda's photography 12-step program. Anyway, so the next thing that I have on my list here, I thought this is a very nice looking Pelican Air case. It says, because life is heavy enough. So they're making a new lighter case.
Yeah, Pelican makes some very nice cases.
Yeah,
you're looking at those,
case.
plasticky cases that really are filled with foam that can protect your gear.
Yeah.
I saw some of these at the NAB show, and they are significantly lighter.
Yeah.
So
and guaranteed for life. I like that. So I was looking
not
at...
like that stuff that's guaranteed for life or until you break it, whichever comes first.
I like this one with the padded dividers.
Yeah.
But that's a nice looking case.
It's got wheels on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are quality stuff.
Yeah. And compact enough on these that they can be a carry-on. If you're going someplace and you can get them where you can actually carry them on. Because that becomes a big concern for me if you're flying, having someone get at your photography equipment.
Indeed.
But yeah, it's a nice looking case, isn't it?
Very nice. They come in all different sizes, so you can
And colors.
customize them, and some different colors.
Yeah.
Not designer colors necessarily, but they're colors.
They come in colors.
Yeah, so.
Where is the colors I had seen? They actually come in like colors.
Like like Airline Crush Green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's something that caught my attention.
Okay. What?
And this is Photobacks from photobacks.com. And they have Photobacks has some really interesting stuff if you're a photographer, which is probably why you're here. And they have these Photobacks. They have a cartoon collection, which helps you translate your images into cartoons. That was pretty darn automatically, like a Photoshop plugin type stuff. And, there's a lot of these around, but this one's pretty good. It comes up with a special panel that it adds in Photoshop, and then you can easily create your own cartoons. I think we're going to switch over Cool Photo Tools to a cartoon format like this, and we can just be automatically in cartoons. So I think this was pretty nice. This one's not cheap. This one's, I think, is on sale for like $75, but it's quite a sophisticated cartoon creation.
I'm going back. I found the colors.
Oh, we have to go back to Rhonda's screen now.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
They're black, orange, yellow, and silver. I like the orange.
No green?
No green.
Oh.
I know, sorry.
But that would help you differentiate, your cases from other people's. So anyway, back to Photoback.
Okay.
Photoback. Photobacks.com. They, besides, this just the cartoon one that I was showing you, they have all these kind of packages for photographers that help you do memory mates. Maybe do the sports package of the school's football team. If you do those kind of things, they make files that are pre-made, ready to go, to help you incorporate, the type of packages that the schools want. So these are pre-built templates. They've got tons of them. These guys have been around a long time. They started as another company, but now they're all at Photobacks. And so these templates if you need any kind of templates to do school type work or
Looks like
yearbook
a little bit
things.
about anything.
Yeah, they've got everything, or just even to do weddings if you want different kind of layout stuff from scrapbook type of things. They've got them. Interesting stuff. Photobacks.com. All right, Rhonda, let's take a look at what you have on your screen.
All right. This is Exposure X, made by Alien Skin. A new software for, alternative to Photoshop.
So this completely replaces Photoshop?
No, nothing completely ever replaces Photoshop, does it?
I don't know. I'm asking.
But this looks like...
What does this do?
Well, what does it do?
So now I caught Rhonda. She's like, I don't remember now.
Oh, I do, because I wanted to download. I actually downloaded it. I haven't installed it yet.
Oh, okay.
So here you go.
Is this a plug-in? Does it need Photoshop to run, or will it do standalone?
No, I think it's a standalone.
You probably could use it as a plug-in.
It probably can still use it
has
as a
number
plug-in.
of effects. But but now that Google Nick filters is free, doesn't this take the smoke out of some of the sails, or the wind out of their sails a little bit?
I don't think so.
It's part of the Exposure X bundle, collection of photography tools. Well, it's worth trying for free, and you can get it at alienskin.com. I think we had this on the blog a few months back. We were talking about this, and I can't remember again what the specifics on this were. But usually Alien Skin, I have had some of their plugins in the past, and they make very good stuff. So
It says...
worth a look for sure.
It looks, like I said, it looks like it's an alternative to using Photoshop, not necessarily using with Photoshop. Say creative photo editing and organizing. So I think that they actually is more like a Lightroom,
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
where you're organizing your imagery along with working your imagery.
Mm-hmm.
If you do the bundle, then you have all three together. But I thought,
What does this cost?
let me check.
I always stump her with that one.
No, I always have it, but I just have to look. I haven't.
She's not
printed.
ready for it. She's not-
149.
$149.
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty standard stuff.
Yeah.
If it actually replaced Photoshop, that would be a bargain.
Well, I'm going to play with it.
But
I'll
bet it
find
does.
out.
Okay, Rhonda's going to report back to
I
us
will.
on that because,
Well, it is pretty hard to replace Photoshop, though. Really.
well,
let's
it
be
is.
honest.
After all this time, they have
Yeah.
really, they've come up with a ton of stuff that
They really do.
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
I'm going to play their video now. You made me do this.
Rhonda's left the building.
I'm gone. I was
she's
here.
like-
I used to be here, but I'm not here any longer.
Yeah, all this is going to do is it's going to show you all these really nice pictures that make you think you want to buy that plugin.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping
That's what I do.
It's not just a plug-in. I'm hoping that
Okay.
they actually have some software. Okay. Then, since we're talking about that kind of stuff, did you see On1 Raw that's coming
I
up?
did see this, yeah.
You know?
On the On1 ON1, ON with the ON and then the
With
number,
the number one.
.com. And, they have had these Photoshop plugins for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of some of the names of them that they've been individual, but they put them all kind of together.
I remember
in a suite.
they had put it out as a free.
And they have one of their plugins is free, so
Mm-hmm.
they suck you in to the rest of them. So go ahead.
So, they're coming out with a new RAW software that they're claiming is going to be something totally different, which I'd be interested in seeing,
I know they've been moving their plugins to standalone type of stuff. So they're trying to give you an alternative to Photoshop.
Right.
And I also read this was going to be $150, or you could subscribe to it monthly.
Right.
But unlike Photoshop, if you didn't want to do monthly anymore after you paid the $150, then it was yours. You just wouldn't get updates or tech support or whatnot.
So interesting, because I signed up, because it's like sign up for information on this. And they sent me a link that said that they will offer this for right now, for when it comes out, and on 110, and it was like for $89 for both of them together.
Yeah, there's
right
going to
now.
be some sales to pre-order this.
But I thought that's pretty good.
So did you buy it? Were you in?
I haven't, but I'm really thinking of doing it.
Okay,
Just
Rhonda's
because-
close.
well-
Close to pull the trigger on this one.
Well, because like I said, us people who shoot raw, pretty much.
Which everybody really serious, about photography is probably going to shoot in the raw format because you have so much more latitude
Yeah.
in adjusting your images in digital darkroom type programs like this one. And there's only been a couple of, let's see, there's Phase 1 has a raw program. Other than that, it's just pretty much been
Adobe.
If you have a Canon, you get a program that comes
Right.
with it, or you get a Nikon, they have a program that helps you translate raw. But the ones that really do a lot with it have been Adobe, with Lightroom and Photoshop. And so now On1 is trying to get into that space.
They're claiming a new raw engine.
Well, and if they do it right, if they come up with some really good raw tools, you have a whole suite of programs here that you could totally abandon Adobe's products
And
altogether.
I find this interesting when they say a non-destructive JPEG workflow. Does that mean that,
Well, it doesn't destroy your original.
Well, I'm looking, is it going to be lossless? So when every time you open and shut it, you're not losing information on your JPEG? Open and do whatever.
Yeah, we'll have to see,
That-
but I suspect it'll be something like, the original is always in, like Lightroom, never messes with your original. It always makes changes after you export the image. So they'll probably do something like
It
that.
says use a plugin, standalone extension, or host app.
Yeah, so that's the list,
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
So will you buy this?
Maybe. I'll see how you do with it.
He's waiting to see.
Yeah, no, it sounds interesting.
Okay, click to view. Let's look.
At the moment I'm a subscriber to Adobe, so
Well,
but that could change. If something better comes along, then I'm there.
and fast makes a difference too. And
Well,
they're
yeah, and I know
claiming
they're-
speed on this.
Yeah, especially because Lightroom has their own library, and they have to, if you move stuff around without using Lightroom, it screws up the catalog. And here they're claiming you can just use the file system of your computer. You don't have to make a special library and screw around with all that. And I'm a fan of that. Good, because I'm not really happy. I don't really like Lightroom's, catalog everything. The catalog is just another obstacle that keeps me from doing my work.
But I think a lot of people take Lightroom because of that, don't you?
Well, I mean, it's
Because it does catalog.
no, and I don't mean catalog in the sense of keywording, and organizing. That's fine. And On1 claims that they're going to do that too, but they're not going to make you add your photos to a catalog first. They'll just be able to use them wherever you tell them the files are. They don't have to make a separate catalog where you can't get at them and move them. So in other words, if you have a bunch of files in Lightroom that's in your catalog, and then you go into your computer's file explorer and move stuff around or delete files,
right,
and you go back to Lightroom, it doesn't know you've done that. And so then
and then it can't find it.
And it's like, where'd that file go? I don't know anything about that file. And so it punishes you for doing it that way. You're supposed to do that stuff in Lightroom. And this will not do that. This would be, it always looks it up just as it's going into the directory. And anyway, we'll have to see how that plays out. But that would be a big attraction. If they can pull that off, that would be a big attraction right there. I'm good with that.
Yeah, and I hadn't ever played with the On1 10, other than the plug-in one where it has all the presets, and I didn't realize what they offer that goes with this. I kind of looked at is actually another almost Adobe-like program where you come in, you bring your picture in, and you can adjust your brightness. You can do all of that type of adjustment and not just have the presets.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was pretty interesting. So, yeah, pretty tempting. Another piece of tempting software.
Okay.
Lights and software, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Okay.
I got one more thing to try to get in here before we're done here today.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Okay. And this is from the Impossible Project. And this comes to us from our friends at petapixel.com, and we'll put links to this in the show notes. The Impossible Project, when Polaroid Corporation stopped manufacturing instant picture film, the Impossible Project picked up a lot of their machinery, some of their techs, and re-engineered instant picture film, which you could still use in conventional instant picture cameras that Polaroid used to make. So now they come up with their own camera, because if you wanted to use those, you had to buy an old Polaroid.
Right.
One that they refurbished, or that somebody, there was no new cameras that were using the Impossible film. So they have come up with their own now, which is the i1 Impossible camera here. And so here's a different camera that uses the Impossible, like the old Polaroid Type 600 film, the H6D type that spits it out the front. Kind of looks something like...
It looks like almost like what it used to look like, with the little square box on the bottom. And
it's gonna require, a few things, but it's got autofocus, and it has a illuminators around the front here. You can see it's got LEDs in the front that light up the
Does it have a flash above it?
No, that's the eyepiece that you look through. This is the flash here.
That is the flash.
It's LED flash, I believe, is what that is going to be. These aren't out yet, but and they also will, I believe, take digital pictures at the same time. Is that did I understand that correctly? I better not say that. I'm not sure. Anyway, better read this article. It's been a few days since I read this.
So, what type of film does it run?
It uses the Impossible Project's Polaroid 600. Essentially, the instant picture, that it spits it out the front, like the old
Polaroids. The old
Polaroids did, the old SX70 type of Polaroid. Anyway, so you can head to the Impossible Project's website at us.impossible.project.com, and this is supposed to be out May 10th. Coming out with this, it's going to be $300, I think is what it. I looked up the price of Impossible film because back in the day.
It's expensive.
Well, you used to get 10 shots, and they were $9.60, I think, when they first came out back in the 70s. And today it's about $3 a shot, based on Amazon. But if you look at the price, the dollar value equivalent, it's about the same. $3 today is like a buck in 1975, something like that. Pretty close. So really, the film costs are as they were, as far as the value. This will be interesting to see. So,
Well, I'm not going to say that you're going to let your 10-year-old go out and start shooting everything then with it.
well, people used to say that then too, So, yeah, you had to kind of plan your shots.
Yeah.
And with smartphones, we're a lot. We think of different about taking pictures now than we used to.
We do.
So,
Yeah, we think that you can just go shutter, 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 shutter.
yeah. All right. Well, you know what time it is.
It's that time again.
Yep, we have run the clock completely out, and it's just fallen off the wall. So until next week, everybody go take some pictures. Have a great time, and we'll speak with you then.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you then.
You've been listening to the Cool Photo Tools podcast. Sign up for our mailing list at coolphototools.com. Got a question? Send an email or MP3 audio file to info@coolphototools.com. Thanks for listening.